Taking a look at stock futures this morning on a Thursday, we've got a big rally on our hands. Dow is up 227, S&P is up 26 and a quarter, really near all-time highs on the S&P, by the way. The Nasdaq is up 97 and a half. Taking a look at the 10-year, big story, of course, as you can see, down 2 basis points. We were seeing the 10-year at levels we have not seen since 2016. That is, of course, the big story with the Fed yesterday. Let's bring in Vested Chief Economist Milton Ezrati and Altium Wealth Portfolio Market Strategist Michael Lee. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Milton, I want to start with you because, look, the markets would love it if we get a rate cut July 31st. But what does that say about the U.S. economy? Doesn't that mean that the economy is weakening?
Well, Powell has made it very clear. He'll give us the rate cut if we need it, which means that if we get the rate cut, he thinks the economy is weakening.
Yeah, that's true. And Michael, of course, markets want to see that rate cut. But some of the banks, even Citigroup even came out and said they still don't think there's going to be a rate cut this year. They're kind of holding back on their ammo. Their analysts are anyway. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think the yield curve is telling a very different story than the Fed or any of those banks right now. This dramatic shift in rate policy from last fall to right now is one of the worst telegraphed moves by the Fed in recent history. I think we get a cut. If we don't get it in July, we'll get it later this year. But I definitely think we're going to see the front end come down from the Fed.
Yeah, and Milton, they took the word patient out of the statement. What did you make of that?
Well, I think their attitude is that if we don't get a deal with the Chinese, the economy may very well need the rate cut. At least by their lights, we had a weaker jobs report in June. It means nothing 1 month necessarily, but the Fed, if the pattern persists, they will cut rates because they feel a need to support the economy. So they took the word patient out in the sense that they're imminent unless we get news that dissuades them.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about Powell in this respect. He's being very careful to say he can't forecast. It's very unlike Bernanke or even Yellen. I can't forecast. It'll be what we get from the economy that'll determine how he behaves in the future.
I do want to get to China with Michael, but Milton, really quick follow-up. What did you make of the reporter in the room asking the Fed chairman if he was asked to be demoted, or if the president came after him, basically that that's his job and he reports to Congress? What did you make of that? Have we ever seen this in a presidential Fed chairman relationship in the past?
Never like this. I mean, effectively, the Fed is a creature of Congress, and the Fed's lawyers are saying the president doesn't have the power to demote him or do any such thing. I think Trump is just trying to intimidate him. I don't know why. He's complicating the policy no end. Speaking about Trump, he's put Powell in a very difficult spot. Not that I'm necessarily a fan of Powell in this, but the Fed is effectively saying you don't have that right. They've been public about that, too.
I had to get that in because that was the first question from the Washington Post in the press conference yesterday. Mike, last word to you. Milton brought up the issue of China. One of my colleagues actually interviewed someone from China, a finance minister or someone from a senior official anyway, basically saying that, that we'll see how these discussions go between President Xi and President Trump. China, the big question here, Mike.
Yeah, look, I think this deal is done. I think it was done, but then China needs to save face. And I think until it's done, Trump is going to continue to put pressure on Powell, and I think Powell is going to play ball. China is really stuck between a rock and a hard place here with their both fiscal and capital account deficits. What they need is direct foreign investment, and without a trade deal with the U.S., they're just not going to get it.
Well, and you know what? Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister here in the United States today. Trade, again, going to be a hot topic, as is the Fed. Milton, Mike, guys, so much to cover. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.